Higher reach educational services. All right, so what I wanted to do today was to just help anybody who need help with drawings and stuff like that. Anybody that you have any questions about AutoCAD, technical drawing or anything like that. Use AutoCAD architecture at George's. Wait, you use AutoCAD architecture at George's? So well, I didn't even know CXC allows AutoCAD architecture. Well, that means everything is like easier. That means everything is easier. I have the architecture version as well, but it's like you don't actually like do much, I mean, you have to understand the different commands and stuff like that. Oh, you are struggling because you're not used to AutoCAD architecture. Okay. Let me open architecture over here. But what are you struggling with though? Just the commands and stuff like that? Good afternoon, Alia. But yeah, Courtney, what are you struggling with? Just the commands and everything like that? Understanding the commands. Which one is the right one? I think it's this one. But let me show you. I mean, if you do AutoCAD architecture, you must follow basically your entire IA. Do you know there's a YouTube page called TD Vision? I guess you probably must follow that person if you do AutoCAD architecture, because he does a lot of very good videos on AutoCAD architecture. on like the different things, you know, the different drawings, you know, walls, floors, roofs, everything. There's a lot of good videos and stuff like that. But what are you doing for your IA though? You didn't know? Okay. Um, let me put the link in the chat here. Let me put the link in the chat. Because what it looks like, it's like, wait, did they just always use AutoCAD architecture, or did they just start this year? Oh, you're redesigning the school cafeteria. That should be easy, especially with AutoCAD architecture. Yo, Ghost, what's up? You're in grade 11. You're in grade 11. All right, what's Ghost, what's like some drawings that you're struggling with, what you need help with, or anything like that? You use it for unit 1, okay. Ghost, I sent you a message. But it wasn't a message. I replied to a post that you commented on, and I said that I was struggling to find information on the pipe vise because the pipe vise is like more mechanical drawing, and while I have taught mechanical drawing, my background is like in building drawing, and the pipe vise isn't like 100% mechanical drawing. It's more like plumbing and mechanical drawing and stuff like that. So I have some colleagues who do mechanical drawing, and they were asked them to, for information on it because I couldn't find any information on it, and they didn't have any information on it. So I was just trying to see if I could get some more info, become more knowledgeable about the topic, and then I would do a video on it. But to this point, I have not gotten any information on that as it. But yeah, Courtney, it's just TD Vision on YouTube, like TD Vision, Vision, and he has lots of good videos. That's why I don't really well, I guess I should do some AutoCAD architecture videos, but he has lots of good videos on AutoCAD architecture. I'm over here doing you're doing plumbing plans, electrical plans, and everything, and I have no knowledge of it. I mean, you should have done that from grade 11. You should have done that in unit 1. Yeah. You should have done that in unit 1. But it's easy. The electrical and the drainage plan, it's done on the same. It's done on the same drawing. For SBS, I want to know when is the final day to send in the SB this year. Different teachers have different deadlines. So I can't like give you a deadline or say that this is the deadline. You know, your teacher would have to give you that deadline because different people have different deadlines. So it depends on when is the deadline for your teacher. You know, yeah. Yeah. So whenever your teacher decides that that's the deadline, no, there is one general deadline for all the teachers. But different teachers will give you their own deadline because they need time to mark, and it will depend on the amount of students that they have. So if somebody just has like 5-10 students, then they might give you a later deadline because they'll only have like 5-10 SBAs to mark. But like me, I teach like grades 11, 12, and 13, so I have probably like 100 students in total across those 3 grade levels. So you know, my students will have like a shorter deadline. You got like 6 drawings and finish all except the pipe vise. Yeah, the pipe vise is it's kind of technical. It's not technical. It's just a next orthographic. Because I think you'll be doing it in orthographic, right? Orthographic or isometric. but in or even in orthographic, it's not difficult. It's just I can't find information on it. Is all. I think yeah, because when I even searched YouTube to see if there was any other videos that I could just like send you the link for instead of doing the drawings, instead of doing the video, but I couldn't even get in any information there either. So I know it's difficult to get information there, especially with the pipe bus. No, I don't know. I don't know Mr. Davis from Calabar. I know a lot of TD teachers though, but I don't know Mr. Davis from Calabar. I did not know that you could actually use TD architecture, AutoCAD architecture, I should say. So Courtney, that means you used AutoCAD architecture for the exam as well, right? You got 5 pieces to do for the pipe vise: isometric, orthographic, sectional, parts list, and parts sheet. So everything is the pipe vise. Yeah, because for mechanical, yeah, you get that one item and you have to draw it, the different views and so on for it. Yeah, I have no information on the pipe vise. I saw like a drawing, but it was missing some information and stuff like that. So, you know, I have like a plumbing book and stuff like that. I tried, I'm not seeing any information on the pipe vise, because I was really trying to see if I could get it for you. Because I tried to get the I try to do the videos like as soon as somebody asks me for a video, I write it down, and then you know I try to do it as soon as possible. But yeah, I couldn't find any on the pipe vise thing. Yeah. So that's that. But as I said, I've asked other teachers and so on if they have any information, and as soon as I get any information on that, then I will send it over to you. Look up says help me for the wine glass and for your SB overall. I mean, I'm glad to know that I helped you with that. Courtney, if you're still in the chat, that's the link that's the link for T Division's channel. He has some very good videos on AutoCAD architecture. But yeah, for the wine glass, there's actually an easier way to do the wine glass. Let me show you. So for the wine glass, you had like an ellipse, right? And I think the way that I did it, because I kind of do the tangency videos in a way like it's like I'm trying to, I do it as if it's been done manually, like it's been done on paper, because I want students to grasp the concept. But it's AutoCAD, and there are a lot of things that can make your drawings easier, you know. So I think for the wine glass, you had like an ellipse, right? So you had like an ellipse, and with the ellipse, you had a curve that was touching like the stem of the wine glass and touching the ellipse. So it was like, let's say the ellipse was like something like this. All right, so the wine glass, it had something like that. And it had like two um stems. It had a stem, I should say, not two stems, it had a stem, and it was like kind of tilted, like at an angle, like. And I think what I did with that was to like, I asked the arc had like a radius of like 7 or something like that, and I offset this by 7 and then offset that by 7. But it's easier than that. You don't have to do that. If you want an arc, all you have to do is just use in circles, in the drop down menu in circles, just use tan radius. So just use tan radius, and it says specify first object. So I would want the thing that I'm drawing, I want it to be a tangent to this. So let me just, yeah, I want it to be a tangent to the ellipse here. And I also want it to be a tangent to the line. So if I click on tan radius, and then I click on the line, like click on the ellipse, click on the line, and then type the radius. I think the radius was like 8 or something like that. So I didn't specify the first. Let me want that, and I want this. And then you'd type the radius, and then the circle will come up. But it didn't come up there because I didn't select the second object before I typed the thing. So yeah, there's a lot of like easier ways to do things. You know, like some of those videos were some of my older videos, and as I said, I do them in such a way where it's like I do them in such a way where it's like it's as if they are being done on paper, you know? And then the radius is 8 or whatever. Okay. But it's because I wasn't drawing with any, so that's the reason. But you do that and it will make it easier. You did I know I did it good, but I was just done it like it can be done easier. In an exam situation, you would want things to be done faster, you know. So if I have like a circle, just like a regular circle, yeah, my AutoCAD is just kind of slow and a bit buggy. I think it's because I have architecture open as well, but we should be good. But yeah, so what I was saying is that it's not wrong. It's just that it's time consuming. Yeah, and an example you want to use here. Let's make this 10. Let's make this 10. Alright. And we have an next circle like anywhere, like somewhere over here. Let's say we have an next circle here. And this is let's make this 15. And I want to draw like a tangent to touch both of these circles. Then instead of like offset and stuff like that, I simply just select swear. There we go. You can just select not tan, but tan radius. If you have 3 lines and you want a circle to be a tangent to these 3 lines, then you can use tan. But if you want it to be circles, lines, and circles, ellipses, whatever, you could do this. And if I do this and do this, and then set the radius at like, let's make this 20 or something like that, you get a circle touching, being a tangent, so like both circles and stuff like that. You know, that makes it easier. I need more exposure on YouTube. I mean, for me, it's not even about the exposure. You know, that would be good, but once I can reach people, and I guess it comes down to exposure, because the more people you're exposed to, the more people you can reach. I once watched a man with 300k subs, and but that's how it is. You know, people have been doing this since forever. I started in 2019, and I just started because I wanted to help. I started it from a class actually, because when we were doing the building drawing SBAs, it took like, when I was doing the building drawing SBAs, I would have to be helping individual students, so it would take a very long time, you know, because I have to go to a student and then help them with something and then go to a next student. So I said I just need to have like a video where everybody can go to. So that's why I started YouTube, and I did that in 2019, I think. You know, so it's been good since then. Yeah. Let me see if I maybe do like a drawing or something like that, because I just can like help people, like if you have like drawings, something like that you need help with, well, other than pipe bites, of course, because as I said, I don't have any information on that. I'll just type my email in the chat. You could send me an email with the drawing, and I would help you if you need help with that, with anything. All right, architecture. Let me. I'm just opening architecture. Let me do this. Big up the best teacher. I appreciate it, Jaden. Jaden, sorry. But yeah, I just want to, because I know like we go back to school, like we go back to face-to-face teaching tomorrow, I think. Well, most schools do. You know, so I just figured that like students might need help with stuff, so that's why I decided to go live today. But wait, do you know the general date when CXC won the SBA? I'm not sure when the general date is. But don't think about the general date, right? Because when you think about the general date, what a lot of students do is this. You think about the general date when CXC wants the SBA, and then you do the SBA with that date in mind, right? And then the next thing you know, time catches up on you, and we don't want you to end in the SBA on the deadline, because we need time to mark and we need time to make corrections. So what teachers will do is to give you different deadlines so that they can correct things as you go along and move on like that. Yeah, so don't pay attention to the final deadline. So that was due from December 1, but I haven't finished the pipe vice. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, different pieces of my SBA for my students, because as I said, I teach grades 11, 12, and 13. So they have different deadlines for different parts of the SBA, and the reason for that is so that students can have the time. They can have the time to do the drawings and all of that stuff, you know, instead of rushing to do the drawings and everything like that. So that's the reason for having a deadline like that. Do you know how to do a Nintendo 64 controller in isometric? Yo, dog. Sorry for calling you dog. Yo, Harish. A Nintendo 64 controller. I used to play Nintendo 64. What does the controller even look like? Let me Google that. But that's I think that's kind of technical, right? Because it's like the controller. It has like 3 things. It has the 2 things like and then 1 in the middle and stuff like that. I think I'd have to have the like measurements. If I have the measurements, I would be able to do it. But like to do it from scratch, like just looking at an image without measurements, I wouldn't be able to do it. But if I have the measurements first, I can do it. Yeah, so all I would need to do with that is like the different measurements and stuff like that. Yeah. Alright, so for the different students who have like assignments, SBAs and stuff like that working on, what were you given to do for your SBAs? I just want to see like what can I help you with? Because I could start doing a drawing, but I don't want to start doing like just like a random drawing, you know. I want to actually know what's good, and then we move on from there. All right, let me see if I can find this over here. But Harish, for the Nintendo 64 controller, is it something that you want to do for fun, or is it something that you actually need to do for? Is it something that I actually need to do for like class? Compliments of season, yo, Kajan. Thank you, sir. And the same to you as well. Same to you as well. All right, let me find this here. Okay. Finish my SB for mechanical drawing, but we got a frustrum. Okay, you got a frustrum for like an assignment. Okay, what did you get for your? What did you get for your What did you get to do for your SBA? What kind of drawing and stuff? For your mechanical SBA, because I'm a building drawing teacher, but I teach mechanical as well. I taught mechanical my first 2 years of teaching, but I haven't taught it since. There's not a PC command, but I'm just using a regular PC. I'm not even on anything fancy, bro. I'm just on a laptop actually. I'm not on like even up. I'm just on a laptop. It's just an HP. Just an old HP. But I have 2 monitors though, so kind of looks better. The pipe vice goes like, I don't know. I think the pipe vice came as a CXC question a few years ago as well. Or it's on the specimen paper. I think it's on the specimen paper actually. It's not from it was not an exam paper, it's from the specimen paper. But I don't know, like, you know, I don't know why it's so difficult to get information on it. I don't know why. Let me open a new file here. So it seems like a lot of the chat is mechanical students. It seems like majority of you are mechanical students. All right, let me just bring over a few things from this side to over here. I want to start doing a drawing, but I don't know what drawing to start doing. I should have planned like a drawing to do, but I just wanted to see if you did a table, wine glass, chip lever, frustrum, 2 intersecting cylinders. Intersecting cylinders, nice. The intersection drawings, those drawings can get very technical when it comes to things like cones and spheres. Like when it comes to drawing like a sphere intersecting a next sphere, or a cone intersecting a sphere, or a sphere intersecting a cone or something like that, it becomes more technical, but yeah. Alright, I guess I'm not going to do a building drawing then, so let me get out of architecture and go back to regular AutoCAD. being that we have so many mechanical drawing students in the chat, it doesn't really make sense for me to do a building drawing. No, Ghost, it's not like that, Ghost. It's just like, as I said, different teachers do different things. So what is table would be equivalent of your pipe vise, I think. No, the trip lever actually. The trip lever would be the equivalent of your pipe glass. 12 drawing we're doing just 4 months. But when did he give it to you though? Was it given to you from September or what? Because I'm guessing it would have been given to you from like September or something like that, right? September, October maybe. Over at such school where sir and I go, it's pain. Wait, Jay, why do I not know you? No, let me not say why I don't know you. Why is your name unfamiliar to me? I don't know why you're unfamiliar to me. And I would think that I know like most of the upper school students at our school. So I don't know why is it that I don't seem to, your name isn't familiar to me. Have I ever taught you, Jaden? Probably in grade 7. And you were in like 7-7 or something like that, right? September and it's due December. Oh, he gave you September and he gave you a deadline for December. No. It's like this, right? Teachers know that if you tell a student that the work is due in April or May or whenever, they will do everything with that in mind. So you have to give them an earlier deadline. So you have to give them a December deadline or a January deadline or something like that. Oh, you're always in the 8th stream. Okay, that's why I never taught you. So yeah. So they give you an earlier deadline so that you get the work done quicker. You know, and you're not just waiting around until like the end of the term and all that stuff. So they give you an early deadline for that reason. When it's my SBA due, as I said, different parts of my SBA are due at different times. But yeah, so some of the SBA components would have been due from like, some of the SBA components have been due from like, I want to say about December, while others are due January, February, and so on. But I think I want to get everything by at least in February. Because as I said, I have like a lot of students, like grades 11, 12, and 13, so it's a lot of students. Yeah, so I have a different deadline. Yeah, I'm just trying to find like a drawing that I can maybe do here. Oh, I know what I can do. Do I have? I'm trying to think if I have any multiple choice papers. I have there's a specimen paper, but I did a video on that, so I want to like see if I can find a different set of multiple choice TD papers that we can probably go through or something like that. Or let's do this. Let me do it. Um, mm, 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 mm. Let's do this. We can look at like an auxiliary drawing. No, auxiliary projection. It's not really. All right. With auxiliary projection, it's like this. It has to. It's kind of linked to things like true shape and all of that stuff. And questions on auxiliary drawing would normally come on the paper one. Well, if you do building drawing, it would come on the paper one. Building and mechanical drawing, it will come on paper one and the multiple choice questions. And then the different drawing for the different drawing questions and so on, things like that would come on paper two. You know, things like that would come on paper two. So let me see if we can look at this. And we'll do like one drawing and we'll just call it there. So yeah, next time I go live, and I plan to do this like more BRB, okay. I plan to do this more regularly where I go live and I like put out like a post or something and YouTube to say that I'm going live so that you can know when I'm going live and stuff, and so that you can come with like questions and all that stuff. So yeah, we can look at this this right here. Auxiliary projection. But in terms of like AutoCAD and stuff like that, I mean, at this stage, we should be good with AutoCAD, because I think a lot of you in the chat are in like grades 11 or higher. So you would have been using AutoCAD for a while now. So I don't think you would have any problems with any of the commands or anything like that. So I think you all should be good, should be fairly good. Oh, by the way, like it would be great if you would you know, like the video. Yeah, so YouTube actually sees that people like my stuff, so they can recommend it more. And if you're new, which I doubt there's anybody who's new, but if you're new, you can also sub. We are getting close to 2K. All right, so let's look at this here. So you can look at like auxiliary projection. So for auxiliary, what this is basically is auxiliary basically looks at, so for example, you know, in orthographic, where if you're drawing something in orthographic, so for example, if I'm drawing like this right here, if I'm drawing this figure here, if I'm drawing this in isometric, orthographic, sorry, you know that it's a cube. So for a cube, the front view, sorry, the plan view of a cube at the top, it would look like a square, right? And the front view would also look like a square. And if I'm looking directly from the side, it would also look like a square. But what if I'm not looking at it directly like that? You know, what if I'm looking at it at an angle where I'm not seeing a perfect square? So I'm not looking at it directly from in front of it. I'm not looking at it directly from the left, and I'm not looking at it from directly above. You know, what would it look like in in that case. So that's where auxiliary projection comes in. It deals with what you would see if you are looking at a figure, but you're not looking at it directly from the front or the side or whatever, because that would be an orthographic drawing. So it's similar to orthographic, but not exactly the same. All right, so right here, so we can do this drawing right here. All right, so we can do this drawing as it says here. This is in first angle orthographic. So the plan view and the front view and so on. This is in first angle orthographic, and then here we have the auxiliary view over here. So we can start with this now. No, it says that we can use our own measurements for this one. All right, so a simple cube, and we will do an auxiliary projection for this. No, this is how we're going to go about doing this. So it's first angle, which means that the front goes above and then the plan goes below that. So it's going to look like this. So let's say that we have a square. We weren't given any specific measurements to work with. So we're going to work with our own measurements. All right. So we have a square. And the measurements for our squares is, let me just bring this over here to make this easier. All right, so let's say we have a square here, right? And our square has like a radius of something like, let's say it has a radius of like 40 maybe, or something like that. All right, so it's like a cube, all sides being like 40 or something millimeters. It doesn't have to be 40, but we'll just choose a measurement and work with that. So let's say it's 40. All right, so I'm just going to put this here. Yeah, and that makes things a lot easier. Let me just bring this up and that, and bring this up here also. Be good with that. That should be good. Just bring this down. Actually no. There we go. All right, so we have this now, and we're going to make this work. So we have a cube, and we're going to make our size of the cube 40. So this is the cube that we're working with. We're going to do the auxiliary projection view for it. So just follow me. If you're not used to auxiliary, no problem. It's going to be simple as we go by. So it's a type of pictorial drawing, and it caters to the different views of things. That, because for example, just to see the true shape of an object, you might not be able to see the true shape of an object when you're using regular orthographic, so you'll have to use an auxiliary view. So we'll start with this regular cube right here. All right, so let's say the sides are 40. So we can start with the front view, just a cube with all the sides being 40. So for this, I guess I need to bring this over a bit. We're good. Alright, so we have a cube, all sides are 40, so I'll just type 40, 40. Alright, so we have that, and that is what we're seeing in our front view. So that's the front view done. So now we have the XY line right here. So the XY line. So I'll just give it a different color. So let me just do this first. And let me change the color from white to cyan, I guess. All right, and then I'm going to just bring down some lines. Well, I don't need to bring down some lines. I can just do this. Since it's a cube, the sides of the cube in the front view will be the same as the sides of the cube in the plan view. All right. So that means I don't have to like change anything. I don't have to change anything. So it makes it a lot easier. So let me show you. Give me a second. So all I have to do is this now. I don't even have to like bring down any lines or anything like that. I can just do this. Question? What's the question, Tabil? So I can just click on this, select the copy command, ensure that you have ortho turned on. So let me turn on ortho, and then I can just bring this down. Let me turn on object snap as well. What are the international standards for technical drawing? The international standards for technical drawing. You can find that information on Google. They are the main ones: the ISO, the International Standard, the International Organization for Standardization, the BS, which is the British Standard, and the AISI, which is the American Iron and Steel Institute. So those are the three main ones. Yeah. All right. So we have this. So this is our front view of our cube. Because if you're looking at it from the front, it looks like a square. If you're looking at it from above, which is the plan view here, it would look like a square here. So we drew the front view and the plan view. So now what we're trying to draw is the auxiliary view, when you're looking at it from a certain angle. Now this angle isn't given to us, so we can make our own angle. But the angle will normally be given to you. You're welcome, Tabil. So let's say that angle is probably something like a 45-degree angle or something like that. What you would do is to draw some lines out at 45. So I'm going to do that. But I'm just going to use some different colors for the line. Let me just use this gray color because it's like a construction line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on polar tracking, and I'm going to set my angle to 45. I'm just going to draw this line out at a 45-degree angle. So like this. Yeah, and it will lock at 45. Actually, all right, let me use 45. Let me use 45. All right, let me use... Here, I can use any angle because an angle was not given. But I think 45 looks a bit too steep. So let's use 30 or something like that. So let's say I bring this out. Just bring different lines at 30-degree angle. So to make it life easier, once you bring out one line, you don't have to bring out like all the rest of the lines. You can just bring out one and then copy that one line. So I brought out that one line, so I can click on this and select copy, and just copy it from here to here to like here. So what I have, which is this one, this point here. Good. So now I have all of that, and then here, see where it says we have an x1 y1 line. So this line here, this slant line, that's what we call an x1 y1 line, and this line is going to be perpendicular to the lines that we just brought out here. So to do this now, all you have to do is this. Just draw this line across like that. It's already set to 30 degrees, so this line is going to be perpendicular to these lines. So this represents now my x1, y1 line. And then with that now, I can use this information to get my auxiliary view, which is this view of the cube over here on this side. So to get this view of the cube, what we need to do is to measure a few things. So we can just measure the distance. So let's go utilities and measure the distance from here to this point. Actually, let me turn off my decimals because I don't want to have any decimals. We have decimals it's just time consuming. So I'm just going to change my precision to 0 so I don't have all these decimals to deal with. Alright, so with that now, I just change my precision. I set it to 0 so I won't be having any decimals now. So if I should measure this distance, so utilities measure on the distance from here to the XY line, that's 14, right? If the distance from here to the XY line is 14, that would mean that the distance from the X1, Y1 line to this point here is going to be 14. So what I can do here is this. I can simply just offset this line here by 14 and I would get this line here. So I'm going to use the offset command to make life easier. So I'm just going to select offset. And I'm going to select 14, enter, and I'm going to offset this by 14. Good. And then now I need to measure this distance from XY to the top up here. So if I go utilities distance, the distance from the XY line to the top here is 54. Alright, that's 54. So if I offset by 54, I do two things. I could offset this by 54, or I could offset this by 40. Either way works. So let's say offset by 54. Alright. And I get that. Good. Then we're basically done. All we have to do is like brighten a few things. So now I can select a different line and I can change these. So this would be here. It would look just like this. So this would be solid line coming all the way across to here, which would be a solid line also to this point as well, at this endpoint, and then over here. After I'm done with it, I'll explain exactly what it is that we're drawing here. So now this here would be a broken line. So this line is a broken line. Now why would this be a broken line? It's because we're looking at this figure from like that angle, all right? So this line over here, this edge, I should say, of the figure, because we're looking at it from here, we're seeing this edge, which is this line, which is this edge over here. We're seeing this edge, which is this edge right here, AB, and we're also seeing this edge right over here, which is DC. But we're not seeing this one at the back because we're looking at it from this angle. So because we're not seeing it, we have to represent it with a broken line. So you can just come over here, and for the line type, I can go by layer, select other. I'm going to load up a broken line. Let me just come over here. I'm just going to go to load, and I'm going to select a broken line with ISO dash. And now I'll be able to do this over here, and I'll make this a broken line. And I'm done. So this is the front view, this is the plan view, and this is the auxiliary view. This is what I would see if I'm looking at this from like behind here at a 30-degree angle. See this edge, which is here, this edge is here, and that edge, which is the line there, but I wouldn't be able to see that there, so that would be represented in a broken line. Yeah. So that's what that would look like. All right. So as I had said, the aim was to go live to like help you with any problems that you might have or anything like that, and so on and so forth. So I plan to go live more often, and whenever I go live, I will ensure that I have like some content in terms of like, you know, drawings to do, and like past papers, so on and so forth, and we will see where that goes. Try to get some multiple choice questions. I think a multiple choice, like do some multiple choice questions in the in the live stream would be good. You know, asking different people what they think the answers are, and then figuring out the answers and so on and so forth. I think that would be some good content. Alright, but yeah, I'm going to end there for now though. It was a good first live on the channel. Thank you to everybody who came through. Really appreciate it. So I don't think it's going to be an everyday thing, but whenever I'm going to go live, I'll try to let you know like an hour or so before, so that if you have questions, you can come with them. Alright, but we're going to end there for now, and we'll continue next time. Again, just leave a like on the video, on the live, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe.